Today we're doing section 4.3 day 1 and we're going to be working on solving word problems. One of the main things you need for today is that if you're doing these calculations you need to make sure you're in degrees on a calculator. So a quick little recall is something we learned in geometry, which is SOHCAHTOA. And just a quick refresher, the SO stands for sine of your angle equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of your angle stands for adjacent over your hypotenuse, and tangent of your angle stands for opposite over adjacent. And again, if you have your right triangle, wherever your angle is, that's the angle that you use to determine opposite versus adjacent. If the angle moves, then obviously opposite and adjacent will move with it. Some terminology you're going to see in word problems. You're going to see angle of elevation, which would be the angle at the base. You're also going to see angle of depression, which would be the angle at the top. So just to kind of give you a quick visual, angle of elevation would be this angle right here. Angle of depression would be that angle. So let's get right into it. So for our first example, it's citing the top of a building. A surveyor measured the angle of elevation to be 22 degrees. The transit is 5 feet above the ground and 300 feet from the building. Find the building's height. So first thing we should probably do is create a picture. So obviously we're going to be dealing with a triangle. So over here is our surveyor. Okay, so we know that this is 5 feet. And we know that the transit, where the surveyor is standing, is 300 feet from the building. So this measurement right here is 300 feet. And this is where our building is. And they want to know the building's height. They also know that the angle of elevation, which would be this angle here, is 22 degrees to the top of the building. So based on the information that's presented to us, we've got to determine which trig function we're going to use. In this instance, we're going to be using tangent because I don't know the hypotenuse, so therefore sine and cosine are out of the running. So I know that tangent of 22 degrees equals my opposite side, which is x, over my adjacent side, which is 300. To solve, we're going to multiply both sides by 300. And this is something that you would just type in the calculator. So the way you would type this in the calculator is tangent of 22. Make sure you close the parentheses and then you times it by 300. Now, when you get this measurement, you get 121.21. Now, the problem is that the building is this whole piece right here, and that x that we found, so 121 is just this part of the triangle, but now I have to add the extra 5 feet that the surveyor is standing with the transit. So when I add 5 feet, we know that the building is 126.21 feet tall. Okay, so let's try another one. A building that is 21 meters casts a shadow of 25 meters long. Find the angle of elevation to the sun. So here's our triangle. We're going to assume the sun is right here. Look at my lovely drawing. So the building is 21 meters, so here's our building. The sun is here casting the shadow. Shadow is obviously on the ground. So the shadow is 25 meters. A lot of times students think that this is the shadow. A shadow has to be seen on the ground, so it can't just be in the air. And they want to know the angle of elevation to the sun. So the angle that we're looking for would be that angle right there. So in terms of the two pieces I know this is opposite and I know this is adjacent. So again, we're going to be using tangent. So tangent of theta equals 21 over 25. So now notice the unknown is the angle. So whenever the angle is what we don't know, we use something called the inverse. So the way we would type this is tangent with the -1, which means inverse, 21 divided by 25. Now, the way you get this on the calculator is you hit second tangent. Same thing on your cell phones. A lot of times you have to hit the second button, and then you would see the inverse option. When you do that, we get about 40 degrees. Okay, so that's all for today.